know, you go out there and you get ready to play in an early season ball game, and the thing that will happen in a ball game like this with Baylor and Oklahoma is that both teams are liable to make mistakes early. First game, first jitters. You fumble and put the ball on the ground, you throw the interception, make mistakes in the kicking game, all these things are liable to occur. Well, we've got to be smart enough and believe in ourselves enough that regardless of these things happening, we're going to overcome them. And they can happen. They might start off this weekend against Baylor. The same things. You're going to get behind in the ball game. There's a chance Baylor will score the first time they get the ball. And if we're going to win that national championship and get that ring that Terry Webb wants and I want and every one of you want, people, there are going to be a lot of ups and downs during this season. It's going to take 11 weeks of things not going our way most of the time, and a lot of the time they will. Ups and downs. In every ball game and every practice. I believe we'll go out there and jump around and cut and slash and try to prove to everyone we've got a great football team. Y'all go do that and I'll keep worrying about it. All right, go after it. Welcome to the Best of the Switzer Shows. I'm Barry Switzer. When I was head coach at the University of Oklahoma, I was proud to have had 2 weekly shows on television during my 16 seasons. Oklahoma football and the Barry Switzer Show were very different programs, each vital to our football family. The playback show was seen by Sooner fans all over the country, while the Barry Switzer Show was popular statewide.
Welcome again to Oklahoma football. I'm Ron Thulin, along with Oklahoma head football coach Barry Switzer.
Hi, welcome again to our show. You know, this past weekend we defeated Missouri 17-7. We had 6 starters out, and another guy missed the game, first time in 5 years, our friend Howard Newman.
Yeah, but thanks for the victory, Barry.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Oklahoma football 1986. I'm Robbie Robertson, along with OU head coach Barry Switzer.
Coach, 3-1 on the season, but now pretty much the testing's over. The puppies have to become big dogs now. I mean, how good can this team be?
Welcome to Oklahoma football. I'm Dean Blevins, along with the coach, and Coach 1-0. Perfect season so far.
Who would have imagined that Dean Blevins and Steve Davis, my quarterbacks all those years ago, would one day turn out to be co-hosts of my show? Amazing. I became head coach at OU early in 1973, and in spite of an NCAA penalty, we had a 10-0-1 season and claimed the Big 8 Conference Championship. The next year, we were still on probation, but that couldn't stop us from playing our best week after week. We were working on our second straight undefeated season, and we had only 1 game left. It was the Bedlam Series, Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. The Cowboys were the only thing between us and the Big 8 title, or possibly even a national championship.
Talk to the sophomores and the juniors about playing the best of their abilities. Those guys that never have another chance, seniors. There's been some great leaders and great players played here. Accomplished is about as much as you can expect. 3 Big 8 championships, lose 1 game in their career. Opportunity today to win a national championship. state, 365 days of the year with these people. Winning is a matter of pride. Player in that room over there thinks he won the football game. Really down deep believes that he can beat Oklahoma.
We appreciate you. You all have been the inspiration to all of us underclassmen. And guys, this is for you. And
We finished the season 11-0, and although we were prohibited from playing in a postseason bowl game, in the end, AP voted us #1 in the country. It was my first national championship. The next year, 1975, we had only one slight detour, but it didn't derail us. We kept a near-perfect season with a solid defeat of Michigan in the Orange Bowl, and for the second straight year, we were named national champions. Over the years, Oklahoma has been blessed with an abundance of talented players who crossed the Red River to become Sooners. One young man who captured the attention and respect of not only the Big Eight, but the entire nation was a super total team player from Hooks, Texas, Heisman Trophy winner Billy Sims.
Who ever heard of hooks before Billy became a Sooner? It wasn't just that physically Billy Sims was the best player in the nation. It was that he wanted to step out of the ordinary. He came to OU to reach for his star, and he became one. OU tradition gave him the chance, and he held it in his hands. That's part of Sooner magic.
People often talk about great games of college football, a particular team you face year after year, where sometimes it's a game of national importance, but it's always a fierce battle of pride. In 1982, after a 3-year drought, we headed to Big D, the second weekend in October, with one goal in mind: to rain on the Longhorns parade. Here was my reaction to the outcome of that game.
We beat Texas! That's a little different. I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to beat Texas. Not your typical opening, is it, Steve?
No, it's not.
Oh, what are you going to ask me? You're bound to have a question.
I do have.
I've got the answers this week.
Well, congratulations. One
Thank
thing, Coach,
We
it
did
really was a special victory.
Boy,
I know.
I tell you what, I wish the country could have seen it. More big play. You guys made a mistake. ABC, CBS, I don't know who you work for anymore, but I tell you what, y'all missed a great game.
It was a great
More
game.
big plays in that Texas ball game, but both sides, than any Texas game we've been involved in. It's not the typical Texas game, you know. It was really a fine show.
This was supposed to be a defensive battle, and there was a lot of good defensive play when the two teams weren't busy scoring.
High formation, two wideouts. Here's the pitch. Here's the fake reverse. The handoff to Dupree. Breaks the tackle. 40, 45, 50 over field. 45, 40. Goodbye, Marcus. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. The miracle freshman Marcus Dupree sends one half of the Cotton Bowl into hysteria as Marcus has numero uno. As Brewer fakes the handoff, looks for the end zone to Walls. He's going to throw. He does now. Walls all alone. Makes the catch for the touchdown. Now they shift back into the eye. Dupree is in the eye. Back to pass is Phelps. He looks, throws downfield. He's got a man all open. Carter has it inside the 10. Jeff fighting back in at middle linebacker for the Longhorns. Third down and goal now from the 4. Down the line is Phelps. Pitches to Wilson. A fly throw, and he's near the end zone. Wilson's in for the score. The Sooners get the lead back.
Before halftime, Texas kicked a field goal to cut Oklahoma's lead. Going to the dressing room, the Sooners led 14-10. Thoughts of last year's 14-3 halftime lead came to mind, along with the loss. This year was about to be different.
Back to pass in the pocket as Brewer has time. Goes down deep, and it is intercepted. A great interception by Scott Case. Big hole up the middle, 50, open field, 45, Ledbetter, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Weldon Ledbetter. Jiminy Christmas, the big bomb is killing the Longhorns this afternoon. Mossy Cage could not catch up with Weldon Ledbetter. Brewer throwing 3rd and 8 from the 22, throws, oh, Jiminy Christmas, almost intercepted by Schiff.
The Sooner defense waving their hands in the air and the Sooner crowd responding. Listen to the pandemonium at the Cotton Bowl.
Third and 15. Brewer heavy rush being chased. He's going to be sacked by Kevin Murphy. Big play Murphy with Brian chasing and Kevin Murphy. And Kevin Murphy, who leads the Sooners in tackles for losses, sends Brewer all the way back to the 14-yard line. The give is to Walker. He leaps to the end zone, and he got in for the touchdown, a 3-yard lead. Oklahoma 21, Texas 16. Here's the handoff, fullback, big hole, 30, 35, sends in the open, 40, 45, he may go, 40, 35. to the 30, still on his feet, 25 and out of bounds at the 22-yard line. They've been good on third down, 7 of 9 today. Lewis wide right, gives to Ledbetter. He's got the first down, he's to 10, 5 touchdown. Ledbetter goes in for the score as he broke a tackle at the 10-yard line and went in untouched the final 10 yards. It is a day for the St. Louis senior, Weldon Ledbetter. Brewer in the pocket, and so he's got a man open at the 5. It is caught, touchdown. Cookie Walls, he got behind Scott Case. Second down and 7. Back to throw. Back is 45. The ball is knocked loose. It's fumbled. Oklahoma recovers. Duel in motion to the boundary, far side, handoff to Brady. He fumbles the ball. It's loose. Sooners can't find it. Texas gets it back at the 31.
Texas got its last chance on offense at their 31 with less than 6 minutes to go. 3 plays later, they punted after only picking up 1 yard. A minute and 31 seconds left in the game. OU needs one more crucial first down. They get it from Kelly Phelps. Texas was left with a bitter taste of Sooner magic, which is anything but dead.
I want to tell you, you know why we won that football game? First of all, we have had great leadership the last 2 weeks. We've had players that want to win, that are emerged. I'm telling you, men, this is an all-time picture right now. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give the offensive team game balls. Nothing quite compares to the feeling of going down the ramp in the Cotton Bowl to face the Texas Longhorns. But no matter who your opponent is, you always strive for strong performances from your players, and you anticipate that the officiating will be as fair as possible. Sometimes a coach doesn't see eye to eye with the guys in the black and white stripes. And on this excerpt from the playback show, you'll see, as the entire nation saw in 1984, blatant examples of what was dubbed the game of the blind referees.
Now, one of the two most important plays of the day. This is Jerome Johnson.
Ball right there. I'm looking straight at it. As soon as he hit it, it's our ball. Ball game's over.
Now we're going to take another look at this. Paul Miliazzo on the hit.
Look at, see, they don't know. So one comes the other way and says, well, he was down.
So maybe they're out of position?
See, he's coming right at me. He's coming right at me. I'm looking right here at the guy. I'm coming right here. And what I see is when he gets drilled by Miliazzo right there, 42. Boom!
Now look,
I'm seeing the ball
loose right there.
Yeah, sure it is. You know, our coaches and all can see it. Our sideline can see it.
It's 2nd and 7 for Texas.
Let's get the ball.
Incomplete, intended for Harris. Now then, 1st and 15.
Throw the ball in the end zone. Stansbury intercepts right there. And they got 2 officials calling out of bounds.
I can't believe this again.
You know what? And if that's I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you right here on television. If that is a Big 8 official that made that call there, he's not going to call another game for Oklahoma. I'm a blackball.
Well, we'll take a couple of looks at it. That's Bill Boyd Bryant. Andre Johnson
right there,
behind him.
There's the ball. He catches the ball. Complete body, 3 yards in the end zone. And got 2 officials on it. And they're going to mark it out of bounds.
Take another look at it.
Great defense. Andre Johnson knocks the ball away. There's Stansbury.
And he's got control of it.
Well, he's 3 yards in bounds.
He drags his feet across the end line. The end zone.
I'm telling you, you got 2 officials.
Looks like an interception.
The game. Oh!
5 seconds left. And with no time left on the clock, Jeff Ward kicks a 32-yard field goal, and the 79th meeting between Oklahoma and Texas is history. The shootout in Dallas ends in a 15-15 tie. And, Coach, since that game was taken out of your hands and the players' hands, how do you kids react to that? How does the team react to a game like that?
Robbie, we were totally disappointed. We went in the locker room, you thought we'd lost the football game. We thought we were the best team, we're the better team, we should have won. But we didn't, and we thought we could totally dominated the football game. Our defense did, our offense did the second half, and we were frustrated. And it just makes me violently ill to look at this film and see the plays that would made the difference, the calls that should have been ours, in our favor, should have been obvious. They would have won the football game for us, but they didn't. Our players were frustrated by this. They were upset by this. I tried to keep them from talking about it to the press, but you can't. You know, there's no question about it. I can't keep from talking about it. I get upset, and I'm going to say some more about it, too, before it's over with. Even today, that game still gives me a knot in my stomach. On the Barry Switzer Show, one of the things fans look forward to week after week was a chance to see some of the players off the field in a different light. I often invited players to be guests on my show. Here's a look at 3 guys from the 1985 team who definitely had an impact on Sooner football. I'd like to introduce you to the finest linebacking core in the country, -1 Evan Gatewood, who's been injured most of the year. On my right, Paul Miliazzo, the junior from Kansas City. In the middle, Dante Jones, the sophomore from Dallas, Texas. And Mr. Brian Bosworth, the sophomore from Irving, Texas. Welcome to the show, man.
Glad you guys joined us. Fellas, I made the comment in the break, or going into the break, about your dress, and you said there's a reason why, Paul, you look like you're something out of Miami Vice. Dante, you could be in a Harold's ad, and you're ready for the Terminator movie, I guess. I don't know. I mean, were you guys too tight last year? Was that
well,
the
that's
comment?
what we were told. We were told that we were a little tense, so we tried to loosen up the atmosphere around the set.
Put your glasses on.
You want me to?
That's what's happening on campus nowadays.
Paul, I noticed that you haven't shaven. Is this a new look for Paul?
No, I'm just being a little lazy.
Is that what the girls like on campus?
I wouldn't know. I just stay in all the time.
Everybody tells me that you're quite a ladies' man. The beautiful blue eyes. Can I get a close-up of his beautiful blue eyes?
No, I hope
not. We're stealing all of Boz's time.
He's getting upset over here. He's upset.
I guess we better talk a little bit about football. But before I do that, I want to ask you about your haircut. I mean, I feel like after 10 years of being away from being a player, I can ask you, where'd you get your haircut, and why did you get your haircut? I mean, it's really catching on.
Well, I tell you, Camille Benzo did it. It was one of her creations, I would guess. I saw the movie previews of Commando, and I've always wanted a short haircut, so it's easily done, and not a whole lot of work involved in it.
Did they charge you?
behind it.
Did you pay for that?
Can we show the back of it, Brian? show the back of this side. See the look. Can you see the back here?
My little tail.
We were talking before you guys came on about Coach, and I noticed, I've been around Coach for a long time, and I've seen him mellow a little bit. What is Coach Switzer like in 1985? What's it like playing for Barry Switzer, Brian?
It's exciting. He's one of the most vocal coaches after and before a football game that I've ever been around.
Do you like playing for Coach Switzer? I mean, does he? I mean, he's.
I like him playing for me.
Well, I know that. I mean, last year you were a little verbal, and you talked, got a little bit of.
I think you rubbed off on me.
A lot of people say, Brian, I look a lot alike. That.
I think.
I'd like to see you get a haircut like
someone's
Brian.
made that statement. Haven't you heard that?
Yeah,
haven't you heard people have said that? He's Bosworth got a Switzer look, or Switzer's got a Bosworth look. I said, that's a lot. There's a lot to that. In fact, he's the second best linebacker I've ever seen play. And Bosworth asked me where the first one was, and I said it was a kid at Arkansas in '59.
Barry Switzer.
Good, smart team players not only rise to the occasion, but are able to apply what they have learned with each snap. Our kiddie corps from early in that 1985 season have matured and gelled into a solid unit. The chance to once again be in the race for the conference title and go on to play in a national championship game basically hinged on 60 minutes of gridiron action with the Big Red of the North. This game today is like 1971 when we played Nebraska here. Both of us were a notch higher, but like when the ball game was over, a Nebraska player won the Outland Award named Larry Jacobson, great defensive tackle for Nebraska. commented in Sports Illustrated when they talked about Nebraska going on to play Alabama in the Orange Bowl for the national championship and Oklahoma was going on to play Auburn. Larry Jacobson said the national championship was played in Norman, Oklahoma on that Thanksgiving Day. And that's what this game is today. This game today is the two best teams in the country, without a question. Millions of people think that. Millions of people believe these two teams can beat Penn State and whoever they play. So this game is for the national championship today. That's how much it amounts to. We got about 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes to dream about it.
I know what it means to every senior in this room. I know what it means to everybody else. So we got to go out and play our game and make them hurt.
20 years I've played Nebraska. And I'm going to tell you, I've been down 14-0 against Nebraska in the first half and come back and tie it 14-14 at the halftime and win the ball game the second half. We've done that a couple of times. Did that in 1980 up there. They led us 14-0. We came back and won the ball game. Several times. 1974, we win a national championship. They go ahead 14-7. And they miss a field goal, and we go 3 straight 80-yard drives on them to win it 28-14. So what happens, I'm telling you, regardless of what happens early in the ball game, it is a 60-minute ball game. Things can happen. You've got to keep your poise, be intelligent. Things can go our way, too. Just keep hanging there and doing what we tell you to do. Play with a lot of pride and effort. The weather is not a factor. The wind is a factor. The weather isn't. Once you guys get out there, that adrenaline flowing, jumping around, knocking the hell out of each other, you forget about those things. You don't even think about the weather. You know what? If Iowa State beats them and we beat Nebraska, you know where we're going? Orange Bowl. Miami. It's all over with. Just like that.
And just like that, Oklahoma went out and made sure this would not be one of those tight-fit Big Red battles. Made sure this wouldn't have to be a come-from-behind OU win. The Sooners spent the entire 60 minutes leaving the Huskers behind or beneath them. By the middle of the first quarter, Husker fans were wondering why there was only one Big Red on Owen Field. Sooner faithful were in for one of the unforgettable OU performances in this annual showdown of the Big 8 Power Brokers. This year, Oklahoma continued to hold the power, and again, Nebraska's championship hopes were broken. Nebraska was hoping this year would have another classic comeback, but most of the coming from behind in this series has been done by OU, not the Huskers. The Sooners refused to slow down and enjoy their quick success. They kept their eye on the goal, on the ball, on the Huskers. Tim Lasher's 2 field goals kicked Nebraska west toward the Fiesta Bowl and OU east to the beach.
Seldom does a national television audience witness one national power render another perennial power helpless. But that's what happened last Saturday. Barry Switzer had told his Sooners to just do their jobs, keep their poise, and the game would be theirs. The Sooners did their jobs with poise and again showed who the real Big Red is.
You've got to keep your poise, be intelligent. Things can go our way too. Just keep hanging there, doing what we tell you to do. Play with a lot of pride and effort. With that victory over Nebraska, 2 other late season wins, and a solid thumping of Penn State in the Orange Bowl, the Sooners brought home their 6th national championship, the 3rd in my career as head coach. Those unknowns of a couple of months earlier weren't new kids on the block anymore. Over the years, anytime I went on a recruiting trip, one of the strongest impressions I wanted to make was that the Sooners were a family. That esprit de corps that was vital to the success of any program. I can't tell you how many times a former player has told me what a wonderful experience OU was and how proud he was to have been a part of the Sooner family. It only seemed logical to add a feature to my show called Sooner Family Album.
We got the greatest defense in the country. We got the greatest down lineman in the United States. Lucius Selman.
Lucius Selman. In 1973, number 98 anchored an all-Selman defensive front for the Sooners. Lucius, along with brothers Leroy and Dewey, became an instant legend in Oklahoma football history, daring anyone to trespass on the family ground. Lucius remembers the family reunion he and his brothers held weekly on the Sooners' front line.
Well, I think the game that I remember the most was probably down there in Texas when Leroy got his first start as a sophomore, because he started the season out with the illness, and he didn't get to start until his about the 4th ball game. And he came out and he was a little bit nervous, and I said, me and Dewey told him, hey, don't worry about it, we're going to do okay, and things worked out real good for us. Dewey is living in Norman. We stand pretty close together there in Norman, and he's in the home building business. And Leroy's decided to become a Floridian, and he's staying in Tampa, Florida now. He's working at a bank down there.
What has being an Oklahoma Sooner all these years, playing and coaching, meant to you?
Well, I tell you what, it has given me a great opportunity to come and play, and then turn around and coach under the head coach to coach me. It gives me an opportunity to go out and recruit and work with young men. And I tell you what, it's good for your mind and for your whole body to stand young, seeing young men develop and get out in the world and become leaders in their own right.
Lucius Selman, another proud member of the Sooner family album.
He's a good one.
Boy, he really was.
The whole family was. Great mom and dad, and there are a lot of brothers never got to play. The older brothers, Charles, and I forgot all their names, but I've seen them all, and they all looked a lot better than Lucius physically, and they're all 6'5", 6'6", bigger than Leroy and Dewey.
He made a comment about the advantage of having played under you and now coaching with you and his recruiting ability. It's got to be a plus for him.
Well, sure it is, because first of all, the Selman family is a great tradition in college football, and it's not only it is a great tradition for Oklahoma, but it was a national name.
Sure.
Now, a lot of kids today, maybe coming out of high school, do not know what Joe Washington means or Billy Sims, sure. But in the state of Oklahoma, the kids in Oklahoma and the families in Oklahoma, the mothers and fathers, they know what that family represents and what it means to this great tradition. One segment of the playback show that fans and players always look forward to is the music feature entitled OU Sidelines. Sidelines incorporated action, humor, emotion, and a good beat into a great music video.
I've been seeking, I've been searching, I've been looking, I've been searching, I've been seeking, I've been searching, trying to find, hey, I'm trying to find.
I don't think a story ever touched as many people as much as this last feature. It's about a young man who, through determination and courage, overcame overwhelming obstacles and circumstances to emerge a winner. This is Caesar's story.
Caesar Rente was recruited by the likes of Texas A&M, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma State. He chose Oklahoma over all of them back in the spring of 1983. The 280-pound senior had set goals of becoming a standout lineman for the Sooners. A series of injuries prevented that, but still, Caesar has played a lot and been a big contributor to the program, both on and off the field. Any adversity Caesar Rente has experienced at the University of Oklahoma doesn't faze him one bit. Adversity was an everyday companion to Caesar for much of his young life. Caesar's family had to be on welfare early in his life. The Rentes moved from poverty in Kansas City into more poverty in Hartshorn, Oklahoma 11 years ago. The old homestead was hardly livable. Caesar's close friend and mentor, Dr. Brad Luckett, remembers the young man's hard times very well.
If we went out to Caesar's house like Caesar lived 6 or 7 years ago, I think he would find a house that the roof leaked when it rained, an open-air heater. And there was sewer going in underneath the ground. And they put plastic on the windows to keep the cold out during the wintertime. And the only time I ever saw Caesar really frustrated or aggravated was when he went into his room one day. We were getting ready to go to a football game and getting ready to go on a recruiting type trip. And Caesar could not find his clothes in a cardboard box in a room with no light. That's the only time I've ever seen this big boy frustrated. Caesar has been an inspiration and a blessing to us a whole lot more than we've been an inspiration and a blessing to him.
Dr. Lockett and others in this southeastern Oklahoma community have been a blessing to the Rente family. Life is easier on Caesar's family now than it was, thanks to generosity and the Rente's traditional hard work ethic. And there are a multitude of Rentes living in and around Hartshorn to share the good times. From great-grandparents to great-uncles and great-aunts to nephews and nieces. But no matter how prosperous times become, Caesar will never have the gift of sound with his parents. Caesar Julius and Irma Rente are deaf mutes. Caesar's father, also his hero, is paralyzed with a stroke and crippled with diabetes. Still, the Rentes share their love and expressions with one another.
Are you happy with your life, with your family?
Yeah, she says together. Happy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she says happy together. My daddy's talking about it. It's beautiful. Eileen, Phyllis, and Kevin, and Caesar. He's talking about the four of us. I always wanted to tell them on TV, hi, Mom and Dad, and I told them that. H-I. Mom and Dad, I love you.
Caesar's grandmother, Evelyn Chalmers, has always been there for her grandkids. Mrs. Chalmers has one great hope for Caesar.
What one bit of advice, if it could only be one thing, would you tell Caesar?
To keep his hand in Jesus' hand. And to love his family. And I will continue to love his family, regardless of what.
Do you have any doubts that Caesar will?
I don't have no doubts at all. Not at all. No doubts at all. Because Caesar, he's just like that. And I love him for it, too.
The first thing that I want to do is get my degree, and that was my goal when I left, from Hartshorn to go to OU. And I said, I want to get a degree so that I'll be able to get a nice job or something so that I can be able to do something for my mom and dad. They're really my inspiration, and giving all the credit to God because he's, put that desire in my heart and to keep going on and to keep running the race and to keep taking one day at a time, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how late I have to stay up. Like it says in the Bible, it says, honor thy mother and thy father. And I honor them with all my heart. And I love them to death, and I've seen them go through some hard times. I've seen our family go through some hard times. And, I look back on all those days, I know it wasn't nothing but the blessings of God that he's allowed me an opportunity. I thank Coach Switzer for recruiting me, and allowing me to have that chance to be able to go on and do some nice things. But I will never forget my parents because I see the desires in their hearts and to want to have some nice things for their children. And I want to have some nice things for my mom and dad, and I want to do some nice things for them.
Caesar Rente's ambitions and goals are directed to the place the roots grow deepest, family. Caesar will never speak with his folks aloud, but this family knows how to speak with their hearts. If only we could all hear what these fine people feel.
Without a doubt, our 15 years on this show is the finest feature we've ever done. Working with fine young men like Caesar made coaching in Oklahoma a privilege. I'd like to thank all my former players and coaches, as well as the cameramen, editors, and other production personnel who had a part in making these memories possible. I've enjoyed reliving these special memories, and I hope you have too. So now, as my old broadcast buddy used to say,
for Barry Switzer and the Oklahoma Sooners, I'm Robbie Robertson. Goodbye, everybody.
He was America's winningest active college football coach, and his resignation shocked the nation. Now, he tells his life story in the riveting bestseller, Barry Switzer, Bootlegger's Boy. He was a poor kid from the other side of town in Crossett, Arkansas. His fascinating and emotional journey from nowhere to the top is detailed in a brutally frank and hauntingly insightful autobiography, Barry Switzer, Bootlegger's Boy.